Annie is the Cinderella in the real world. Annie is the Cinderella without the Disney ending. Anora, the movie. Anora, or Annie, is about a girl who is an escort and an erotic worker. She happens to meet Ivan, who is a wealthy young Russian man. Within a week of meeting each other, Ivan proposes to Annie.
Прекрасно. I'm Иван, and ну ты можешь назвать меня просто Ваня.
Vanya, okay.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
И это мой лучший друг.
And Annie accepts the proposal and they decide to get married. And that's when the story starts. So why should anybody want to watch this movie? This movie challenges our perceptions and stigmas against working girls. It gives us a glimpse of the world of girls like Annie, who are these working girls who are trapped in the cycle of poverty and prostitution. And they have this one hope that one day a man like Ivan, a rich man, will come and save them. In fact, Annie is the Cinderella in the real world. Annie is a Cinderella without the Disney ending. You see, Annie's world is limited to just sex and prostitution. So to people like Annie and her friends, men only want one thing, and that's sex. So when she comes across somebody like Ivan, who is wealthy and proposes to her, she thinks, and even her friends say, that she has won the lottery. What's interesting is that none of her friends, not even Annie herself, ask about Ivan's character. Nobody cares about Ivan. Nobody cares about what he looks like, what he does for a living, or even how he treats Annie. All Annie and her friends care about, or her circle of friends care about, is that he's wealthy and he's going to take care of Annie. Of course, it's very obvious right from the beginning that Ivan is reckless and he lacks responsibility when it comes to financial and other affairs. One of the painful parts of the movie is seeing how much Annie tries to save their marriage. Unlike what we as a society think of the working girls, we think of them maybe as unworthy or out to get money and gold diggers.
And you are discussing hooker. And your son hates you so much he married one to piss you off.
Unlike what we think of these girls, Annie shows us that she's so desperate to keep this marriage. And in fact, Annie is so pure and innocent that she keeps encouraging Ivan to speak with his parents. She even tells him that they'll understand if he tells them how much he loves Annie. So in her little world, just like Cinderella, who comes from poverty, she is coming from poverty. And as soon as his parents find out how much Ivan loves Annie, they'll understand and they'll be okay with their marriage. Of course, Annie learns it the hard way when Ivan keeps abandoning her and later refers to her as an escort in front of his parents, an identity that she hates. At the end of the movie, Annie realizes that the only man who has actually cared for her and looked after her is Igor. Igor is one of the men who is working for Ivan's dad. Being the broken girl that she is, she thinks the only way, the best way to thank Igor is by giving him free sex. What she doesn't realize is that although Igor wants to have that physical intimacy with Annie, he's not there just for sex. And we realize this as an audience the moment that we see Igor going and reaching in for Annie's face to kiss her. The look of confusion on Annie's face and Igor's face tells us how broken once again Annie is. And she even realizes that herself. She realizes that this man doesn't just want sex from her. He wants that level of intimacy with her. seeing how much he cares about her and how much he doesn't care about what other men in her life have cared about, she then breaks down in front of him, and that's when Igor embraces Annie. And for the first time, we actually see Annie crying in the movie. This last scene is so powerful that it makes us feel, it gives us that feeling that we could be Annie herself. This movie is a beautiful movie. It's a brilliant movie that can make you laugh and cry all within the length of the movie. It's a brilliant movie and I would 100% recommend it, especially if you're interested in taboo or stigma, social stigmas against individuals and groups.